So SARAO started funding me before I started doing postgraduate studies, actually. They started funding me in my undergraduate studies in my third year at the University of the Free State. Then after that, I started my master's with Rhodes University, based at the SARAO office in Cape Town. There, I was studying emission beams of radio pulsars, trying to understand how the frequency evolution of the pulse profiles affect the dispersion measures that is measured from pulsars with the new broadband telescopes like MIACAD and the SKA. So what I was doing there is that I was making simulations of pulsar beams and producing like fake pulse profiles intrinsic from the pulsar magnetosphere, and also adding additional effects like the interstellar medium and yeah, trying to analyze that. And then from there, after completing that project, I went to do my PhD, where I moved my focus from the time domain studies to image domain, where I was imaging the galactic center data from the commissioning of MIACAT, which resulted in the image of the galactic center that we're now very love. This was under the supervision of Professor Ian Haywood and Eris Carastijo, who was also my master's supervisors based in Oxford, but also have affiliations with the University of Rhodes University. It had a very great impact, to be honest, because it opened up a door for international collaborations as well. So from early on in my master's degree, I had high performance computing computers to be able, that allowed me to do these simulations that I was doing. Even in my PhD as well, I was processing data at the CHPC and in IDEA because the data volume that we were working with was very large. And also in terms of collaboration, I had access to the University of Oxford, where I would visit occasionally during the period of my master's and early on in my PhD as well. And so that kind of opened up a door for me to explore science outside of my university and outside of South Africa. Opened up a door for international collaboration, which is also the reason why I'm here at the Max Planck Institute as well, because they had an interest in imaging the galactic center, and I had the skills, and that kind of it becomes like a transfer. Given me the opportunity, well, direct skills that I needed for this job was pretty much what I was doing in both my master's and my PhD. In my PhD, I was doing image domain science, which is something that I hadn't trained on prior to doing my PhD. And also learning about pulsars and emission mechanisms and the fundamentals of pulsars led me to where I am today, where I am imaging. I'm leading the survey for the Galactic Center for the Institute, where we doing both imaging, which is what I learned in my PhD, and time domain search for pulsars, which was introduced to me earlier on in my master's. So the training that SARAO has funded me to pursue definitely prepared me for what I'm doing right now. I am leading the Galactic Center survey with the MIACAT S-band receiver. The aim of the survey is to find pulsars in the galactic center. The reason is because at the center of our galaxy, there lives a supermassive black hole, Sagittarius A star. And if we can find the pulsars orbiting around the supermassive black hole, we could use them to derive the properties of the black hole. The reason why we want to find pulsars in the galactic center is because we expect them to be there in the first place. But a lot of surveys have searched and haven't been able to find them. I mean, this is the image of the galactic center as that. So what I'm doing currently is that I identify in the image domain possible candidates or areas where we are likely to find pulsars. And then I use the time domain data to search those areas, which maximizes our probability of finding a pulsar orbiting a black hole around or galactic center pulsars. So if we can find pulsars around black holes, we could use them to measure the masses accurately. We can use to measure their spin and the orientation of the spin, whether the black hole is spinning and which orientation it's spinning. And all of that, for example, could give us an insight on our fundamental laws of physics. I think it has been, from my observation, without thinking too much about it right now, it's the people, the fact that at the beginning of the HCD, there weren't a lot of radio astronomers in the country. And if I look at my field, which is in the pulsar field, that has been also true for a while. It's I we had a pulsar conference in Sardinia around September this year, and I was very happy to see that there were now more people from South Africa who are interested in pulsars. And so having the people building the capacity, the humans' capacity to be able to do different sciences, including pulsars, I think that's more valuable because it gives people more options.